for something simple, and what you get back is, well, complete nonsense. It's so frustrating. You hear one person saying generative AI is this incredible, revolutionary tool, and then someone else just writes it off as a useless toy. So what gives? What's the real secret here? Well, it all comes down to the art of the prompt. So let's dive into how you can go from that frustration to getting seriously useful, high-quality results. Here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll tackle what I'm calling the AI productivity paradox, why it's a miracle for some and a total menace for others. Then we'll get into the art of prompt engineering, and I'll show you the 3 foundational pillars to get it right. After that, we'll get tactical with 4 pro-level methodologies. And to wrap it all up, we'll talk about how you are the director in all of this. All right, so let's kick things off with that central conflict. Why is it that some people seem to be having these incredible breakthroughs with AI while so many others are just getting stuck? This is really the question at the heart of it all, isn't it? Is AI a true productivity miracle, or is it just some high-tech nonsense generator? The truth is, it can actually be both. And the difference, more often than not, isn't the tool itself, it's the person using it. And look, this potential is very real. It's measurable. An MIT study on professional writing found that people using AI were a massive 40% faster at their tasks. Not only that, but their work quality shot up by 18%. So the power is definitely there. We got to know how to unlock it. So how do we actually get those kinds of results? Well, the secret is a skill that's really part art and part science. It's called prompt engineering. Now, don't let that word engineering throw you off. Seriously, think of it less like you're building a bridge and more like you're a great movie director. It's the skill, the art really, of crafting your instructions, your prompts, to guide the AI to give you exactly what you're looking for. It all comes down to clear communication. Okay, check this out, because this example says it all. A novice user asks, what is the Battle of Malakia? The AI, trying its best to be helpful, just makes up a story that sounds believable. But look at the pro prompt. Act as a history expert. What is the Battle of Malakia? Just by giving the AI a role, a job, its entire goal changes. It stops being a creative storyteller and becomes a fact checker. And it correctly tells you, hey, that battle doesn't exist. Same exact AI, completely different and way more useful result. So to get results like that every single time, you need to adopt a very specific mindset. It's really built on 3 core pillars that'll transform you from being a passive question asker into an active answer designer. And this quote right here, it absolutely nails the mindset shift. Amateurs just toss a question out there and hope for a decent answer. Professionals, they design the answer before they even ask. They build the container, defining its shape and structure, and then guide the AI to fill it in. You become the architect of the final output. So how do you actually do that? How do you become that architect? Well, it's a simple 3-part formula you can use for pretty much any prompt. First, you give the AI a persona. You tell it who to be. Act as a historian. Act as a marketing expert. Next, you give it a clear task. Tell it exactly what to do. And finally, and this is so crucial, you give it a template. You define the exact structure you want the answer to have. Okay, so you've got the foundational mindset. Now let's build on that. Let's get tactical with 4 practical methodologies that the pros are using every single day. These are the 4 big ones. First, just writing crystal clear instructions. Second, giving the AI some reference material to work with. Third, taking really complex tasks and simplifying them. And fourth, and this is the one that might surprise you, giving the model time to think. Let's break each one down. First up, clarity is everything. The AI can't read your mind, so the more guesswork you can eliminate, the better your result is going to be. So be super specific. Use things like quotation marks to separate different parts of your prompt. Break your task down into numbered steps. Oh, and here's a pro tip. Ask for the output length in paragraphs or bullet points. Models are way better at that than hitting a specific word count. Next, don't force the AI to rely only on what it learned from the entire internet. If you have information you trust, give it to the model. It's like giving a student study notes right before a test. You can literally paste in an article or a report and tell the AI, summarize only this text.
This slashes the chances of the AI making stuff up, what people call hallucinating, because you've grounded it in facts that you provided. All right, for those really big, complex jobs, don't try to get it all done in one shot. It's too much. Models just have a much higher success rate when you give them a series of simpler tasks. So instead of one giant prompt like, analyze this 100-page document and write a full marketing plan, you divide and conquer. You say, first, summarize this document. Then, next, identify the key audiences from that summary. And then, finally, suggest 3 marketing ideas for the first audience, one step at a time. Now, our final tactic is probably the most counterintuitive, and it's where a lot of people go wrong. We expect AI to be lightning fast, right? But to get a better, more accurate answer, you sometimes need to tell it to slow down. Think about it. When you rush a math problem, you make mistakes. It's the same for these models. They make more reasoning errors when they're forced to just spit out an answer immediately. So the solution is incredibly simple, but it's so powerful. You just tell the model not to rush. Add a little phrase to your prompt like, think step by step before you give the final answer. This actually forces the model to work through its own logic first, to catch its own mistakes, and then produce a much more reasoned, more accurate final result. For complex problems, this is an absolute game changer. And this all leads us to our final and honestly most important point. All of these techniques, this whole mindset, it's about shifting your role from just being a passive user to being an active director. Let me tell you a quick story that perfectly illustrates this. A researcher asked a video AI for a super simple scene. Just 2 people meeting on a staircase. That's it. But the AI kept failing. Over and over, it created scenes of a person being chased down the stairs. Why? Because a chase scene is a much, much more common trope in all the movies it was trained on. The AI isn't truly creative, it's a master remixer of what it's already seen. And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. An AI is an unbelievably powerful tool, but it's a tool for amplification, not replacement. It amplifies your intelligence, your creativity, your intent. Your skill as the director is what makes the difference between creating a masterpiece and just getting another boring chase scene. The power isn't really in the tool. It's in the person who's wielding it. And now you have the mindset, you have the techniques of a director. So the only real question left is, what will you create?